Takuto is a Giga-Chad with a glowing scar on his chest who washes ashore on a small island after swimming across the sea to attend school there. He quickly befriends Sagata and Wacko, the duo who saved him. However, his new life takes a wild turn when he discovers a secret organization of strange clowns who kidnap Wacko. However, Takuto transforms into the 22nd Cyeti called Tauburn, ready to save her and defeat any bad guy who stands in his way. But before any of this, on a small island, a young girl and a guy walk along the beach, looking up at the sky as a shooting star passes by. While they walk, the guy tells her he wants her to come with him to Tokyo, but she gets upset and starts to argue. Just then, she hears the faint sound of a boy nearby. They go to check it out and find a young boy lying on the sand who looks like he drowned or something. The girl quickly kneels down and gives him CPR, trying to save him. The next day, the boy wakes up in a big mansion where he sees the same two people from the beach, and they introduce themselves as Shinda Sagata and Agemaki Wacko. Sagata tells the boy that Wacko was the one who saved his life. Later during lunch, the guy finally introduces himself as Tsunashi Takuto and explains that he missed the last ferry, so he ended up swimming all the way across the sea to reach the island. Wacko asks him why he came all the way here just to go to school, but Takuto simply says that he wants to do something amazing with his life. After getting along with Sagata and Wacko, who were the ones that saved him, Takuto becomes friends with them. Soon after, he joins the local school, and it turns out that all three of them now attend the same school together. Later that afternoon, while walking through the school hallway, Takuto stops and stares at a painting hanging on the wall. Seeing this, Sagata tells him that the painting was done by his own dad. Then, Takuto gets curious and asks Sagata about Wacko. Sagata explains that Wacko is off purifying herself right now because she is one of the island's maidens, which is something important on this island. Later, a pink-haired girl tells everyone about the dorm's iron rules, and if someone breaks it, they have to do pull-ups and other torturing exercises. Afterward, a Temu version of Zoro arrives and asks Takuto to join his boxing club and introduces himself as Honda George. Afterward, the girl warns both not to go near the old, abandoned gold mine close by. But what they don't know is that there's actually a secret group hiding inside that mine. Later that night, Takuto becomes curious and decides to go check it out for himself. When he gets there, he discovers a bunch of strange clowns who have kidnapped Wacko, and they suddenly attack him without warning. Not long after, they also capture Takuto and take him with them. One of the group members then climbs into a huge cyber robot and activates it. The robot creates a strange prison-like world that exists in a separate space, blocked by a special seal. The man's plan is to use Wacko's power to break that seal inside this place called Zero Time. But surprisingly, Takuto also enters this world, even though he doesn't wear a mask like the others, and it turns out Takuto is actually a galactic person. Right then, Takuto transforms into the 22nd Cyeti and saves Wacko. The next day, Takuto notices Wacko staring at him for a while, and her friends start teasing her, saying there's something suspicious going on between the two of them. While that's happening, a strange girl suddenly shows up beside Takuto and surprises everyone by kissing a stranger right in front of him, which leaves Takuto shocked. The class leader quickly steps in and starts arguing with the girl about her behavior. But instead of backing down, the weird girl smiles and introduces herself as Kanako. She asks Takuto if he wants to be her friend, but when he says no, she casually reveals that she's actually married. Later, Sagata takes Takuto to meet their club leader, Serena, along with a few other friends named Yamasugata and Sugatame. After taking a good look at Takuto, Serena tells him to step up on the stage. Instead of doing that right away, Takuto lifts his shirt a little and shows them a glowing scar on his chest, which surprises everyone. Afterward, Takuto asks Wacko why those people tried to kidnap her, but before she can answer, Serena jumps in and asks Takuto what exactly happened when he opened his Cyeti the night before. Takuto explains that he got pulled into a strange space that didn't feel normal. Serena then tells him that Cybots are able to move inside that strange kind of space, and when they activate, time completely stops for the rest of the world. She also adds that if someone ever found a way to make the Cybots move all the time, it would cause huge changes in the military, politics, and basically everything. That's why there are secret people out there who are trying to control it. Meanwhile, the top leaders of the different groups inside the Glittering Star organization held a meeting, and they're all angry about how Takuto ruined their plans the night before. They argue and complain, clearly upset that one person caused so much trouble. After some talk, they come up with a new plan. Whoever manages to defeat Takuto in battle will become the new leader of the group and take charge until it's time for their big departure. Meanwhile, Shinada, one of the leaders of the filament group, comes up with a plan to mess with Takuto by trying to manipulate him through a surprise kiss. After that, Tetsuya climbs back into his Cyeti and once again creates a strange universe that traps both Wako and Takuto inside. Just like before, Takuto transforms into his own Cyeti and charges at Tetsuya, but he quickly dodges the attack and rushes toward him. Takuto reacts fast and lands a strong punch, knocking Tetsuya down to the ground. But then, Tetsuya uses another special move that makes him speed around like a glowing, sparkling bike. Even with all that, Takuto powers up and uses his galaxy beam to blast Tetsuya's Cyeti with a huge attack. They win the fight and return safely back to their own world. The next day, the same married lady keeps bothering Takuto again and starts talking about her husband, saying he's the head of the Grand Tonnerre Foundation. Takuto finds out the guy is actually an old man who's 65 years old. After that, she gives Takuto some food and asks if he can come to her house after school to help with a part-time job. But then Sagata and the others also ask if they can come too. Later, they all show up at the dock and see Kanako's huge boat, which her husband gave her as a wedding gift when they got married. Afterward, Kanako tells them about her husband who lives in Paris and can't speak Japanese well. After that, Takuto and the others grab some cleaning tools and begin scrubbing and wiping down the pool together. While they're cleaning, Wako's little fox suddenly gets scared after seeing a crocodile and runs straight toward Kanako, causing a big mess all around. Annoyed, Kanako tells Takashi to get rid of the fox, but Takuto quickly steps in and protects it. Then, Kanako says they should settle things with a match. If Takuto wins, she'll double his pay, and on top of that, they'll get to spend a night with her. After that, their duel starts, and Takuto has a hard time at first because of the stick he's using, but he still pushes forward and charges straight at Takashi. While the fight goes on, Kanako quickly loses interest and just walks away looking bored. At the same time, another meeting of the Glittering Crux begins, where all the leaders gather and talk with each other. They start planning a way to beat Takuto so that one of them can rise up and take the position of leader for themselves. Later, the blonde guy questions Takashi and asks why he didn't take the fight seriously, saying that they can't afford to keep losing because one of them is supposed to become the next leader of the Crux. After that, Takashi goes to give Kanako a massage, and while relaxing, she tells him that he should aim to become the leader of the Crux himself. At the same time, another Crux member opens the cyber casket and creates a brand new universe all over again. Takuto and Wako are pulled into that same space once more, just like before. Once inside, Takuto transforms into his cyber body, and both of them grab their star swords, ready to fight. Everyone watching is shocked to see that Takuto also has a star sword. The enemy charges straight at Takuto, but Takuto blocks and fights back using his own sword. At first, Takuto has a hard time keeping up, but then he pulls out his star sword Sapphire, which lets him dual wield. With this power, Takuto turns the tide, beats the other guy badly, and finishes the fight by slashing him with his main special move, winning the match once again. The next day, the principal comes to visit Takuto's club, and the members tell him that he's also their club advisor. Takuto starts to wonder if the club is really that popular. Serena explains that a lot of students want to join just to get closer to Sagata and Wako. After that, everyone starts teasing Takuto and Wako, saying that Wako has a crush on Takuto, even though she's supposed to be a special maiden. Serena also mentions that Wako wants to be a singer. Then Sagata says that last year, some magazine people came to the island to take pictures, and the producers noticed Wako and scouted her. After their meeting, Wako walks through the hallway when she suddenly catches the strange scent of maple syrup in the air. As she follows the smell, she comes across a woman who appears to be working inside some kind of lab. The woman gives Sagata a mysterious-looking potion, and when Wako sees this, it causes her to remember some moments from her past that she shared with Sagata. The next day, Wako starts looking all over the place for her grandmother, but no matter where she checks, she can't find her anywhere. What's even more strange is that the whole city seems completely deserted with not a single person in sight. However, Wako goes back to the beach while singing a song, and she finds Takuto there. Takuto tells her that there is no one in the town except for them. He then starts flirting with her. After that, it begins to rain, and both Takuto and Wako rush back to the lifesaver room so they can change into dry clothes. While they're there, Takuto suddenly asks Wako if they could just leave the island together. In response, Wako explains to him that a maiden isn't allowed to leave the island as long as her seal remains unbroken. After this serious moment, Wako opens up and begins sharing a part of her past with Takuto. She tells him that her grandmother had planned to explain everything about being a maiden once Wako entered middle school, but in the end, she ended up figuring it all out on her own before her grandmother could say anything. After the rain comes to a stop, Takuto notices an old board nearby, the same one Wako says she placed there when she was a little girl, making her realize that they are inside zero time and that none of what they're seeing is part of the real world. Right after that, a thick fog starts to roll in, and through it, they spot a mysterious Cyeti in the distance. Takuto quickly asks Wako if the Cyeti is real, and to their surprise, it turns out that it actually is. Without wasting time, Takuto transforms into his own Cyeti, ready to fight, but before he can do anything, the enemy Cyeti suddenly vanishes into thin air. Right after that strange moment, everyone wakes up and finds themselves back in the real world, as if nothing had happened. The next day, Takuto and the others are doing stretches on the school ground while the boys nearby stare at the girls in a weird and creepy way. While they're stretching, Serena walks up to Takuto and introduces him to another honorary member named Tsubasa. She says he's in a different club, but helps them with all the tech stuff. All of a sudden, they feel something like an earthquake, and Tsubasa loses his balance and falls. Later, he goes to the nurse's office, but the nurse starts acting strange and creepy around him. After he leaves, the principal comes in and shows the nurse something. He tells the nurse, whose name is Okamoto, that a man wants to meet her, but Okamoto says she doesn't want to meet him. After that, Okamoto runs into a student named Nichi Kido. Kido tells her to try remembering the names of the girls too, not just the boys. He also mentions that someone has been stealing chemicals from the clubroom. Meanwhile, the Kiriboshi organization starts testing a new plan by creating Yadok, a Cyeti that can control time and zero time. It turns out that this device was actually made thanks to Professor Green from the Science Guild, who is also part of the Star Driver group. The next day at school, a new girl named Hina shows up and starts flirting with all the boys, making it seem like she might turn the whole school into a reverse harem. Then, suddenly, there's another earthquake and Hina suddenly vanishes. At the same time, Kido catches the school nurse, Okamoto, stealing love potions, and it turns out that she is Professor Green in disguise. Later that night, Takuto meets Hina after getting a letter from her earlier. It turns out she's the one behind the earthquakes. She also tells him that whoever defeats him will become the next commander of Glittering Crux. After that, the nurse Okamoto creates a space like zero time and pulls Takuto and Wako into it. Takuto transforms into his Cyeti and gets ready to fight. He uses his double swords in the battle. At first, Okamoto moves super fast and beats him up badly, gaining the upper hand. Even though she's faster, Takuto pushes through and manages to defeat her, winning the fight once again. The next day, Takuto notices that his special watch has stopped working. Wako tells him that she'll take him to town later so they can visit a watchmaker who might be able to fix it. Sagata hears them talking and tells them to have fun before walking away. Later, Wako and Takuto take a bus ride to the town. While exploring, they come across a theater and a bookstore, and they enjoy their time visiting different spots, trying new food and eating delicious desserts. As they walk around, Wako mentions that today is actually Sagata's birthday, but then adds that he doesn't really like celebrating it. She explains that in the Shinda family, the name Sagata is always given to the person born with the special mark. She also tells Takuto that Sagata found out about his true birth and the secret behind the Cybots exactly 5 years ago on his birthday. Ever since that day, he started hating his birthday. Curious, Takuto asks if Sagata can pilot a Cybot too. Wako nods, but says that Sagata's Cybot is different. While Cybots like Tauburn are warrior types and hers is a maiden type, Sagata's Cybot is called King Cybot. It's not only rare, but also the most powerful one on the entire planet. But she reveals that his Cybot is broken, and it can't move anymore, but voicing it may put his life in danger. Later at the beach, Wako reveals that unlike her maiden, Sagata is capable of leaving the island if he wanted, but to prevent that kind of power from being used, he's prohibited from leaving. Moreover, she tells him that all the people who have approvoised with King Cybot, every one of them has unleashed a first phase called King's Pillar, then fallen into deep sleep. While heading to Sagata's house to celebrate his birthday, Takuto and Wako are stopped at the door when Sagata's maid refuses to let them inside. Not wanting to give up, Takuto tells Wako to sing a song for Sagata instead. As they sing, a mysterious member of the Glittering Crux hears them and suddenly attacks. Takuto quickly jumps in and saves Wacko from getting hurt. The enemy moves incredibly fast, almost like lightning, making it hard to keep up. Just then, Sagata's maid shows up and begins fighting the enemy, shouting at Takuto to hide Wacko since she is a maiden. But things take a turn when the enemy overpowers and badly injures Sagata's maid. Seeing this, Takuto makes up his mind to step in and help. Takuto picks up the maid's swords and uses them to defeat the mysterious enemy. But right after that, the enemy suddenly goes wild and loses control. Things get worse when more copies of the same enemy start showing up and walk toward Takuto before attacking him all at once. Just when it seems like he's in serious trouble, Sagata appears. He steps forward and unleashes his most feared and powerful ability, the one Wacko was always afraid of him using. However, after using his power, Sagata falls unconscious and doesn't wake up. The next day at school, Takuto sits in class but can't focus on all, clearly worried about what happened. Meanwhile, at the Glittering Crux base, the leader of the second section, Vanishing Age, known as Head, arrives to join an important meeting. During the discussion, they talk about how Sagata apprivoised the Cyeti called Samek last night. They mention that in all of recorded history, none of Sameka's past drivers have ever used the King's Pillar and are still woken up afterward. Meanwhile, Takuto bumps into Serena, who tells him that Wacko is currently purifying herself and praying for Sagata's recovery. Hearing this, Takuto starts to feel down, wondering if the three of them were ever truly a trio or if he was just the third wheeler. However, Serena tells Takuto that it's always been hard for her to picture a future where Wacko and Sagata are truly happy together, but ever since Takuto came to the island, things changed and the three of them turned into a happy trio. She then encourages him to stay by their side no matter what, saying that's how he can keep both of them happy. After hearing that, Takuto runs toward Wacko's house and meets her grandmother. Her grandma suddenly asks him when he got his Tau mark. Takuto replies that it happened about a year ago. Meanwhile, Yano creates a new version of Zero Time, and this time, she decides to challenge Takuto herself. Soon after, both Wacko and Takuto are pulled into the Zero space along with the still unconscious Sagata. Takuto gets angry when he realizes that Yano was the one who attacked them the night before. Without wasting any time, he transforms into his Cyeti and summons Tauburn. But Yano is quick to strike first. She attacks him and then brings back the same creepy doll-like enemies from last night. Takuto fights back and manages to take out some of them, but then Yano uses her special insect-type attack. She dives into the floor and suddenly launches a surprise attack on Takuto from below. Just then, Yano's attack suddenly hits Sagata, causing him to fall, but Takuto manages to catch him just in time. After the battle ends, Takuto and Wacko wake up back in the real world. Worried, they both rush over to Sagata's mansion, only to find that he's nowhere to be found. Suddenly, they notice a bright, flashing light coming from one of the windows. Meanwhile, the members of Glittering Star invite Sagata to join their group. Just then, Takuto and the others show up, but things quickly turn tense as the other members of Glittering Star launch an attack on Takuto. While the fight is going on, Shineda walks up to Sagata and suddenly kisses him. After that, Takuto gets into a serious fight with Sagata and ends up beating him. The next day, Serena tells Takuto that Wacko has been looking upset and has been holding on to a present she wanted to give to Sagata. Just then, Wacko walks up to Sagata and shows him the gift, but he coldly refuses it and walks away without saying much. Watching this, Serena comments to Takuto that they're fighting again. Then, the freaky girl nearby adds that it's probably because Takuto and Wacko were out on a date 2 days ago. Meanwhile, over at the Glittering Crux meeting, the members talk about how Sagata has finally awakened from his deep slumber, and now the true star driver of Samek has been born. However, one of the members says that Sagata can't pilot the Cyeti right now, so he isn't a real threat to them. Another member adds that the rule still stands that whoever defeats Tauburn will become their new leader. But then, their top member speaks up and says that their whole strategy needs to change or else they'll never be able to beat Takuto and the others. Meanwhile, Kido meets up with Wacko and asks if she's planning to return the present she got for Sagata. Wacko replies that she's not returning it, but will exchange it because it's the wrong size. After that, Wacko gets on a bus where she runs into a girl named Matsuri, who asks if the bus goes to the dock. Matsuri then tells Wacko and Kido that she was locked up in a huge birdcage until this morning, but strangely, she says she liked the man who locked her in there. Later that afternoon, Takuto decides to talk to Sagata alone, telling Tiger and Jaguar to leave them alone. Afterward, Sagata tells Takuto that they both are supposed to kill him if he ever tries to leave the island. However, Takuto says that he knows he is keeping knife since he was a child and Wako has been wondering about that for a long time. Takuto then says that he is going to destroy all of Crux's psi bodies, and then Wako will leave. Afterward, Takuto loses his temper and charges at Sagata, throwing a punch, but Sagata easily dodges it. Takuto then finally says everything he's been holding in, letting out all the thoughts and feelings he's kept bottled up. Just then, someone from the glittering crux triggers zero space, and Takuto, Sagata and Wako are pulled into it together. Takuto quickly transforms into his Cyeti, ready to fight. However, Scarlet Kiss, the leader of the Kiriboshi Filament Squad, suddenly appears and captures Sagata, using his powers as her own. A fierce battle begins between Takuto and Scarlet Kiss, and during the fight, it's revealed that her first phase ability allows her to control the person she kisses. In the end, Takuto manages to deal heavy damage to her Cyeti and defeats her. After the battle, Takuto and Sagata return safely to their own world. The next day, Takuto and Sagata take a hot shower together when Wako arrives and asks Sagata if Takuto spend his night here. She says that they must have played with their monsters all night and asks if she can join them in shower, but turns out she is joking. Later, Wako tells Sagata not to use his powers anymore, as if he uses King's Pillar again, he might not wake up this time. Meanwhile, a girl named Mizuno gets ready for school, and turns out she is Spider-Man and always jumps from her house window to the bus. Back at school, Mizuno enters the boys' washroom where Takuto was busy stroking it. Takuto then helps Mizuno rescue a crow that got stuck in a tree. While he's climbing to reach it, another student warns him that the mother crow might attack him, but Mizuno says the crow told her it won't hurt him. Later, Serena talks to Takuto and tells him that Mizuno is probably the strangest girl in the world. She also shares that Mizuno's older sister, Marino, is a well-known sports star at school. Afterward, Wako brings Takuto to their clubroom, where they start discussing ideas for their upcoming screenplay. While they're talking, Mizuno is also hanging around the club, bothering Wako's pet fox and playing with it. Then, she suddenly notices Takuto and walks over to him, getting freaky with her behavior around him. On the other hand, the members of Glittering Crux hold another meeting, where they introduce a new person who steps forward and announces herself as Manticore, the new temporary leader of the second section, while the head is away on vacation. Manticore says she has a switch that could set off bombs all over the island, shocking everyone until she laughs and admits it was just a joke. Afterward, the members find out that Manticore is actually the star driver of the Cyeti called Irongot, which is known for being a strange lump of metal. However, Manticore also tells the other members that it's useless to challenge Takuto unless they level up first and get stronger. Later that day at home, Mizuno excitedly tells her older sister about her new classmate named Takuto, admitting that she has a crush on him. But what Mizuno doesn't know is that her sister who's listening to her is actually Manticore, the new leader of the second section in Glittering Crux. Afterward, someone activates zero space again, and Takuto, Wako, and Sagata are all teleported there. Wasting no time, Takuto transforms into his Cyeti and prepares for battle. He pulls out his special dual-wielding swords and goes head-to-head with the enemy. While the fight is going on, Wako begs Sagata not to use his special ability, reminding him that it comes with serious consequences. Meanwhile, the enemy charges at Takuto with a spear, but Takuto quickly dodges and strikes back with powerful blows. After landing a strong slash, the battle ends, and they are all teleported back to the real world. Later that night, Mizuno is seen taking a shower with her twin sister, who is revealed to be one of the four maidens. The next day, the school tournament kicks off, and the first event is a baseball game where Wako's team faces off against the team of Mizuno and her twin sister. Takuto is the first to bat, and he impresses everyone by knocking out every batter that comes his way. The whole stadium goes wild, with all the girls cheering loudly for him. Afterward, Mizuno steps up to bat, but she gets out on the very first ball because she's too distracted, unable to take her eyes off Takuto. Then, her sister takes the bat and gets ready. Takuto throws a fast pitch, but to everyone's surprise, she swings and hits a strong, high shot straight into the air, shocking the whole crowd. After that, it's Takeo's turn, and he is also one of the members of Glittering Crux, and he swings the bat, hitting the ball and getting a score. Then it's Takuto's team's turn to bat. While watching, Wako thinks that it's been a long time since Sagata and Kido have sat together like this. Takuto steps up and hits the ball, but while running, he crashes right into Marino's talents by accident. Takuto asks her if she is Mizuno's sister, but Marino thanks him for letting Mizuno into the drama club. However, Takuto gets shocked that she knows his name, but she says her sister talks about him a lot. After that, the game keeps going, and it's Takuto's turn to bat again. He swings just like a pro and hits the ball hard. But then, Takero comes up with a sneaky plan and throws the ball with a weird spin that makes it bounce back, and Takuto ends up getting out. Later, Mizuno walks over to Takuto and says a few things to him and tells him to remember them well, saying it's a special spell that will help him win. Meanwhile, Marino realizes that Takeo is a sword star and asks if he used his first phase on the last pitch. Takeo believes that he only did that because he doesn't want to lose to Takuto even in a match. After the games, Mizuno tells her sister that she taught Takuto how to use her spell, but Marino tells her not to teach her spells to anyone as no one will believe her. Later, Takeo decides to challenge Takuto in Zero Space. After that, Wako, Takuto, and Sagata are taken to Zero Time, where Takuto changes into his Cyeti form. He pulls out his twin swords and starts thinking about what kind of weapon Takeo is using. Wako tells Sagata not to use his powers because first phase abilities can't beat Cybuddies. At the same time, Takeo throws some energy balls at Takuto, who keeps repeating the words that Mizuno told him before. Then, Takuto fires rockets at Takeo's balls, cuts through them with his swords and strikes Takeo, winning the fight. After the battle, they all return to their real world. At the same time, Kanako's assistant Simone notices how hard Kanako works, since she's always up and doing things before her. Later at school, Kanako talks to Takuto and says that their midterms are finally over, but they haven't even celebrated yet. She also says she's been feeling a bit lonely these days. While listening, Simone watches her closely, thinking that Kanako suddenly turned into a big shot in the world economy and secretly feeling that she really hates her. After that, Kanako invites all the students to a beach party on her yacht. That afternoon, everyone shows up for the party, and Kanako asks Wako to sing a song for the group. After Wako finishes her song, Takashi, the guy who once fought Takuto on Kanako's ship, shows up and asks Takuto if he's really a dual wielder. Later, the Glittering Crux has a meeting where everyone starts arguing about who should control the Cybuddies. Kanako shares her opinion during the talk, and Simone thinks that Kanako does make sense at times. But then, Mizuno's sister suddenly accuses Kanako of using Cybuddy for her own reasons. That night, Kanako gets a call from her husband, who wants to celebrate their anniversary, but she tells Simone to let him know that she'll call him herself later. It turns out that Kanako's husband is actually Simone's real father, but neither Kanako nor her father knows the truth. Simone found out about it a year ago. In a flashback, it shows that after Simone had an accident, she learned that her old man had married a girl her age, Kanako. After hearing the truth, Simone felt betrayed, especially because Kanako was the one who ruined things for her mother. So, to take revenge on Kanako, she changed her name and started working as her assistant without anyone knowing who she really was. At the same time, Takuto and the others are shocked to see Sagata acting in a play at a theater. On the other side, Simone creates a Zero Space and Takuto, Wako, and Sagata are pulled into it. Inside, they see Takashi and Simone together inside a Cybuddy. Right away, Takuto changes into his own Cybuddy form and brings out his usual dual star swords. Then, Takashi tells Simone to put all of her power into the blade while he handles the rest of the control. Takuto fights with Takashi, whose sword is even more powerful, and he uses all the blade fighting techniques to attack Takuto. At the same time, Sagata uses his ability and sends immense power to Takuto, which makes him even stronger. Takuto uses his new powerful sword and slashes Takashi and Simone's Cybuddy, and wins the match once again. Back in the real world, Simone's sister, Mylene, visits her at the mansion and shares the truth. She says that 1 year ago, when Simone was unconscious, Kanako saw their mother crying and used Aprovoice to help save her. Later on, Simone goes to speak with Kanako and asks if she knew everything all along. Kanako answers, saying that she liked how the situation turned out. The next day, Kanako tells Takuto that she has kissed 73 boys through the glass since she joined the school, but she wonders why he's never asked her for a kiss. Later, the Glittering Crux holds another meeting, where they announce that the Cybuddy repair machine is finally ready. Marino asks if her Irongot will be fixed first, but another member replies that Irongot was already broken when they first found it, so it's a special case. She suggests that they should fix the other broken Cybuddies first. She also shares that even though they now understand the Orichalcon formula, the Orichalcon still needs the life force of a star driver who is fully tuned. They also believe there's a chance that Sagata's Cybuddy, Samek, might have finally healed. Later, Kanako talks to Takashi and tells him that all her stocks and crypto investments are doing badly, and her husband is chasing after all the rich men. The next day, Simone meets Takuro and gives him a letter from Kanako, which turns out to be a date invitation. After handing over the letter, Simone walks away and says she still doesn't like Kanako because she has everything in life, even without attending school. She also tells him that the reason Kanako kisses boys through the glass is because she's trying to enjoy what school life feels like. After hearing that, Takuro starts to believe that Simone actually likes Kanako. The next day, Takuro visits Kanako on a coffee date, and Kanako asks him if he thinks that kissing people through the glass is wrong. However, Takuro says that it's not wrong since she can see the other person's face. The next day, Kanako runs into Mizuno and asks if she is a witch and if people can use magic. Mizuno tells her that all humans are capable of using magic, but since a demon casts a spell, not everyone can use magic. Later that night, Kanako, who is disguised as Glittering Crux's leader, meets with Takuro and tells him not to fight anymore. Later, Kanako calls Honda, who turns out to be a boxing champion, and asks him to fight her in the ring. When he steps in, Kanako knocks him out with just one punch. Simone then asks if she plans to fight Takuro using her Cyeti. Kanako answers yes, she will fight Takuro with her Cyeti. After that, Kanako creates a zero space, and Takuro, Wako, and Sagata are pulled into her zero space together. After that, Takuro changes into his Cyeti, and Kanako uses her power to turn the area into a boxing ring. She then rushes at Takuro, throwing punches like Mike Tyson, and knocks him to the ground. But Takuro stands back up and says he will destroy every Cyeti on this island. Then, he uses his pile move and defeats her, finally winning the fight. After getting back, Kanako gives her leader badge back as she lost to Takuro. The next day, Kanako finally gets to kiss Takuro without a glass. The next morning, Takuro and Wako eat breakfast at Sagata's house, and the maids think the place feels more lively now that Takuro is living there too. While they're eating, Takuro tells them that Shinada is his RA, the one who looks after the dorm and handles everything, and she's pretty chill with him. He also says that Shinada is really good at kendo, and she even beat all the other girls' kendo teams. Just then, Sagata gets a call from Shinada, and she asks everyone to come over to her place. Shinada tells everyone that she's come back to train in the old Shinda style and asks Sagata to have a match with her. But Sagata says he wants to fight his apprentice first, and it turns out he's talking about Takuro, who he jokingly calls a loser. After that, Takuro and Shinada start their fight, but just when things are getting serious, Sagata steps in and stops it at the right moment, and Shinada is declared the winner. Later that night, Takuro takes a bath and thinks about the match he had with her earlier. Somehow, Shinada ends up showing up in the same bath pool, but when the other guys show up too, she quickly leaves. Later that night, while Takuro is sleeping, Shinada quietly kisses him, and the two of them end up lying in bed together. After that, the Glittering Crux holds another meeting where Kanako tells everyone that without the money from the adult bank and the tech from the science club, they don't really have a proper project to keep going. Later, Shinada bumps into Keita, and that's when both of them finally realize that the other is also a member of the Glittering Crux. Keita tells Shinada that Sagata went through with an Aprovoice even though he knew it could cost him his life, and that someone like her could never understand the kind of pain he's been through. Later, Shinada volunteers herself to be a test subject in an experiment to reactivate destroyed Cybuddies. Shinada then recalls her entire past while her Cybuddy regenerates, and she is determined to pilot Cybuddy. Afterward, Shinada's Cybuddy regeneration turns out to be a success, and now her Cybuddy becomes even stronger than before. Right after that, she creates a new zero space, pulling Takuro and the others into it. Takuro quickly transforms into his own Cybuddy, getting ready for the fight, and then Shinada shows up in her Cybuddy, which looks just like the one Sagata was piloting earlier. Shinada charges straight at Takuro, but he dodges her attack because he recognizes the move from before. In the end, Takuro manages to completely destroy her Cybuddy and wins the match once again. The next day, Takuro goes to Mizuno's house to take her back home after finding her sitting up in a tree. At the same time, the members of the Glittering Crux talk about getting ready to regenerate the Cybuddy Irongot, which belongs to Marino, who is actually Manticore. They also believe that if they manage to break the West Maiden's seal, they'll reach the third phase, which will make it easier for them to beat Takuro. Meanwhile, Serena picks Takuro and Mizuno to play a kiss scene together in one of Sagata's theater plays. The next day, it's finally time for Marino to go through her Cybuddy regeneration process, but unlike Shinada's, her process doesn't go as smoothly and has some problems. After that, Takuro and the others are pulled back into zero space. where they see a huge Cyeti standing in front of them, and both Wacko and Sagata realize right away that it's AniGot. Then, Marino activates her Cyeti, and it's revealed that this one has eyes, and it's said that a Cyeti with eyes is supposed to have the power to find the maidens. Slowly, Marino begins to lose control over her Cyeti, and soon it goes completely out of control and turns wild. After that, the Cyeti starts attacking all the members of the Glittering Crux without holding back. Takuto quickly transforms into his own Cyeti to stop it, but he struggles during the fight because the Cyeti is too strong. In the middle of the battle, he hears someone calling out for help, and it turns out to be Marino's voice coming from inside the Cyeti. Afterward, Takuto slashes the Cyeti with his double sword and saves Marino from dying. The next day, Takuto and Mizuno spend some time together in the boys' bathroom, and during that moment, Mizuno suddenly tries to kiss him, saying it's because they need to practice a scene from their school play. Later, Serena tells Wacko what happened, and when Wacko hears it, she gets really mad and upset. A while after that, while Takuto and Wacko are eating ice cream together, Takuto tells her that Mizuno is not serious and is probably just playing with him, just like she did before with the vice president and even with the group called the Crows. At the same time, Sagata meets Reiji, who is painting a picture of a pretty scene, and Reiji asks if Sagata would be okay with modeling for his painting. Then, Reiji also says he wants the spot of the Glittering Crux's first section leader to stay open for him until he is ready to take it. At the same time, Mizuno and Marino are taking a shower, and Mizuno asks Marino what's bothering her. Marino answers that their aunt told her something surprising, that their mother has come back. Meanwhile, over at the Glittering Crux Society, all of the star drivers from the Vanishing Age group are having a meeting, and it's being led by Reiji. During the meeting, Reiji tells them that Manticore used AniGot's eyes to find the West Maiden for them, so they now owe her a favor. At the same time, Mizuno is riding on top of a bus when she spots Sagata and Takuto having an argument nearby. Sagata tells Takuto that he should come and practice with him, but Takuto doesn't feel like doing it and says no. Then Sagata tells him that if Takuto manages to win, he'll break off his engagement with Wacko. When Mizuno hears this, she starts to feel really sad and even jealous because she secretly likes Takuto. But when Takuto agrees to go along with the bet, Mizuno feels heartbroken and completely shocked, and without saying a word, she stays on the bus as it keeps going in the rain. Later that night, Marino sees that Mizuno doesn't seem to be feeling okay, but before they can talk much, the doorbell rings, and to their surprise, it's their mother standing at the door. Marino tells Mizuno that they should talk to their mom face to face, and tell her they don't want her back, and that they deserve to know if she really left them on purpose. But Mizuno suddenly bursts into tears, gets upset with Marino, and storms off to bed without saying anything more. The next morning, Marino is nowhere to be found at home, and Mizuno decides to try leaving the island. But then, suddenly, she wakes up in the same way as before, and everything in her life is just like it always was. When Mizuno tries to leave the island again, she finds out that she just can't, and the same strange dream keeps repeating again. It's then revealed that her powers as a maiden are the reason she isn't able to leave. Wacko later comes up to her and asks if she really tried to leave the island. After that, Wacko brings Mizuno to her house, where she performs her purification, which is part of her duty as a maiden. During lunch, Mizuno asks Wacko if she also can't leave the island, and Wacko explains that both of them have responsibilities because they are maidens. Later, when Mizuno returns home, her aunt gives her their mother's address and also asks where Marino is, since she still hasn't come back yet. But Mizuno replies that she doesn't know either, and her aunt starts to realize that the two sisters probably had a fight because of their mother showing up. That night, Mizuno starts thinking that maybe Marino can leave the island since she isn't a maiden like her. The next day, Mizuno goes to visit Kido in a lab and asks how she figured out that she was the West Maiden, and questions why Kido told her she could leave the island if she came there that day. Suddenly, Mizuno starts to feel lightheaded and falls onto the floor. At the same time, Takuto and Sagata are taking a bath together, and during their talk, Sagata admits that he truly did want to protect Wacko, but he also couldn't help wanting the strength that comes from a privoising. Then, he asks Takuto what he really wants, but before Takuto can give an answer, Wacko arrives and tells them both to get out of the bath. Meanwhile, Mizuno is being kept prisoner at the Glittering Crux base, but she quickly tries to run away, although other members stop her. Kido mentions that Mizuno has never seen a Cyeti fight and doesn't understand anything about Zero Time. Kido then places her hand on Mizuno's chest, and Mizuno's mark starts to glow brightly. Kido explains that not many people around here have the skill to show their mark and still be able to resist being dragged into Zero Time. She also tells Mizuno that it's possible she passed her maiden duty onto the clone she created, so she could feel like she had a complete family. In the end, it's revealed that Marino was never real at all. She was just a clone-like illusion that Mizuno had made, and the truth is, Mizuno was born as an only child. After that, Mizuno transforms into her Cyeti, and Takuto along with the others are pulled into Zero Time. While there, Takuto sees Mizuno's Cyeti being attacked by another one, and during the fight, her seal ends up breaking. Takuto quickly moves in and catches Mizuno in time. Then, Reiji proudly announces that by using his star sword, he has broken the West Maiden's seal and helped bring the glittering crux into the third phase. Right after that, Reiji also turns into his own Cyeti, and Takuto changes into his Cyeti too. Takuto grabs his swords and launches rockets at Reiji, but Reiji easily destroys them. Takuto and Reiji start fighting each other, and at first, it looks like Reiji is winning the battle. But then, Takuto fires a strong beam at him and rushes in for another attack. Reiji pulls out his light sword from the third phase, and when he uses it, Takuto loses his mark and suddenly can't move anymore. However, Takuto's Cyeti powers back on, and it changes into a new form. After that, Mizuno is able to see Takuto's memories, including what his life was like before he got his emblem. Back in Zero Time, Takuto fights back hard and defeats Reiji badly, completely destroying him and winning the battle. In the real world, Mizuno decides to leave the island too, and Marino, who is with her on the same ship. The next day, Sagata, Takuto, and the others are having fun at a beach party, enjoying the sunny weather together. While there, Takuto gives Serena a massage. At the same time, Ruri talks to Wako and tells her that she went on a date with Takasuji, the tennis club captain, and that the two of them did some inappropriate things the day before. Right then, two girls walk over, and one of them, named Ko, asks Takuto if he can give them a massage too, but Takuto feels unsure and hesitates. After that, the group starts joking around and teasing Wako and Ruri while they're building a body shape out of sand. Then, Ko suggests they all play a volleyball match. The game begins with Ko and her friend Madoka on one team, going up against Wako and Ruri. As the game goes on, Ko and Madoka crush Wako and Ruri and are very close to winning. But then Wako gets super fired up and starts hitting the ball back hard, beating them one by one until both teams are tied. In the end though, Ko and Madoka win, and just like they joked before, Takuto ends up giving them a nice massage with oil. After that, the Glittering Crux Society gathers for another meeting to discuss their next move about breaking the seal of the Third Maiden. Then, Reiji shows a video of himself destroying the cyber casket, saying it's no longer needed. Right then, someone walks in and announces that Professor Silver has something to say after the third phase. Only those with real marks can access or pilot Cybodies. So now, the fake or artificial marks they've been using can no longer be used to pilot any Cybodies. Later, Madoka decides to bring Takuto, Wako, and Sagata into Zero Time to challenge Takuto to a battle. This time, the Zero Time space looks different as it now includes the Maiden's Temple inside it. It's also revealed that Madoka is a female galactic pretty boy, just like Takuto. Takuto then transforms into his Cyeti and starts fighting Madoka using his twin swords. Madoka grabs her own sword and charges at him with full force, but Takuto easily overpowers her in the fight. Madoka's Cyeti then switches to a different ability and launches an attack on Takuto. Later that night, everyone plans to have a fun barbecue night, but in the end, only Takuto, a guy with a Pokemon-like style, and Shinada are actually there. Suddenly, Wako, Serena, and Ruri arrive wearing beautiful kimonos, and Takuto tells Shinada and Tetsuya that he was the one who invited them to the party. But Shinada becomes angry, saying that the event was only meant for students who live in the dorms. Later, they all play a fun game called the Truth and Firework game, where each person lights fireworks and shares a truth about themselves while holding it. But when it's Takuto's turn, his fireworks suddenly go out, which means he loses the round. Since he already lost twice before and had to take off his shoes and shirt, he now has to remove another piece of clothing. Just then, Madoka and Ko show up and join the group, but Shinada quickly tosses a firework at them as a joke, so Madoka and Ko laugh and throw one back at him. After that, everyone starts tossing fireworks around just for fun, but things get out of hand when one of the fireworks accidentally flies into Takuto's dorm room and ends up setting the whole place on fire. Later, the principal gathers all of them and tells Takuto that he needs to find a new place to stay since his room has been completely burned down. Right away, Sagata steps up and says that Takuto can come and stay with him. The next day, Sugatame Tiger tells Wacko that Ko and Madoka have officially joined their class, and they're already becoming really popular with the other students. Later, in class, Takuto asks Kei if she still plans to form an idol team with Wacko, but Kei replies that she's no longer interested. However, Wacko still dreams of becoming a star one day. Meanwhile, the Glittering Crux members hold another meeting, but most of them are feeling bored now since their Saibodies have all been destroyed. The following day, Takuto and Sagata are at the beach, practicing their sword skills together, while two people secretly watch them from a distance. It turns out the ones watching are actually Madoka and Ko. Suddenly, Madoka uses her powers, and Takuto finds himself facing her in a strange dark space. He tries to fight her using a wooden sword, but every time he swings at her, she vanishes before he can land a hit. At the same time, Sagata uses his own powers to break free from the darkness, and as he does, a strong burst of energy hits Madoka, burning her back and forcing her to retreat. The next day, Wacko finds Ruri kissing her boyfriend from the glass window, and Ruri tells her that her boyfriend cares about her a lot. Later, Wacko meets Takuto, and Takuto already knows that today is her birthday, so they are going to discuss the plans at Sagata's house. Later, Takuto and Sagata decide to make a cake for Wacko while she just watches them from a chair. Seeing them, Wacko gets happy because they get to be together on a Sunday like this, and she feels like a dream. After that, Sagata finishes making the food and gently serves it to Wacko. Since Takuto doesn't have any money left because of the fire that burned his things, he decides to give her his special watch, the one he always keeps with him. When Wacko opens the watch, she sees a picture of Takuto's mother inside and asks him if it's something important. Takuto tells her to always keep it close to her. As for Sagata, who didn't bring a present, Takuto hands her a knife and says it's from Sagata. He explains that it's the same knife Sagata always carries with him to protect her, making it a special gift too. After that, they all go out together and enjoy spending the day as a group, while Ko and her best friend secretly keep watch on them the whole time. Later, Takuto and Sagata visit Kei's club, but that's when Ko and her friend use a needle to take control over Takuto and Sagata's bodies. After that, both boys start acting strange around Wacko and Kei. Kei notices that Sagata is behaving oddly and quickly figures out that something's not right, so she slaps him to snap him out of it. At the same time, Wacko also senses that Takuto is not acting like himself, so she points her knife at him and demands to know who he really is. After that, Ko and her friend leave Takuto and Sagata's bodies, and later, Wacko tells them everything that happened while they were being controlled. Soon after, they are all pulled into Zero Time again, because another member of the Glittering Crux calls them there for a fight. But in the end, he defeats her and returns safely to the real world. At the same time, Ryusuke thinks back to his past, remembering the moment when he first met Reiji. Back then, Ryusuke would pick up and drop off a girl named Sora every day, since she was engaged to Reiji. Ryusuke was also working in the college's research division, where he was part of a secret project inside the underground ruins, a job that had been passed down to him from his parents. One day, they all stopped at a beach, and Reiji painted the entire scene so beautifully that it completely shocked Ryusuke. Every time Ryusuke visits Tokyo, he always ends up finding Reiji at the same spot, quietly working on his paintings. But one day, Ryusuke gets curious and asks Reiji why he always signs his artwork with just the letter R. Reiji replies that one day, that will be his real name. Back in the present, Takuto is at Sagata's house, spending time fixing a clock with the help of Sagata's two maids, who assist him while he works. They also spot Wacko peacefully sleeping in the garden, but then Sagata suddenly walks over and kisses her, which completely shocks Takuto and the two maids watching from nearby. At the same time, Jintario, a member of Kuroboshi, meets up with Kei. She questions him about why he always spends his time possessing animals and wandering aimlessly around the island. Jinta then turns the conversation around and asks her why Reiji still hasn't broken her seal, since she is actually the third maiden, the East Maiden. Meanwhile, Ryusuke remembers a moment in the past where Reiji tells Ryusuke about a secret organization on this island, which is dedicated to the restoration of the Orichalcon field, and tells Ryusuke that he is a member of it. Ryusuke then reveals that he inherited a mark from his bloodline, and he is just following a path, but Ryusuke says that his father never passed the mark down to him. He then questions Reiji, asking if he truly loves Sora. Meanwhile, Kei goes to talk to Takuto, and thanks him for keeping her singing a secret from everyone else. At the same time, Jinta is secretly spying on them. Later, Kei opens up to Takuto and tells him how Sagata and Wacko used to be her best friends. But deep down, She always wondered if she was just the third wheel in their close friendship. Suddenly, the anaconda bites Takuto, but Kei quickly grabs his leg and sucks out all the poison to save him. Later, Takuto is pulled into zero space, where Jinta challenges him to a duel. Takuto transforms into his Cyeti and begins to fight him. At first, Takuto has a hard time because the Viper's poison is still affecting him and slowing him down. Meanwhile, Sagata uses his powers to protect Wako from being attacked by a piece of Jinta's Cyeti. Just then, another member of the Glittering Crux appears, attacks, and ends up fighting Jinta instead. Seeing a perfect chance, Takuto quickly strikes and destroys Jinta's Cyeti. At the same time, Ko and Madoka insist that the Cyeti regeneration process should begin soon, even though it puts the driver's life in danger. But Madoka reminds Ko that Takuto always makes sure his opponents don't get seriously hurt, so if their Cybodies are repaired, then they wouldn't stand a chance. Later, Simone asks Kanako if something happened between her and Madoka. Kanako explains that Madoka used to work for her a long time ago, but even back then, it felt like Madoka only saw her as a joke or a toy, so Kanako eventually ended their connection. Kanako also says she believes she's a monster who might end up destroying the world someday, and Simone quietly worries whether Takashi will be safe with someone like her. The next day, Takuto goes to thank Kei for saving his life, but Wako starts feeling a bit jealous seeing him getting close to another girl. Suddenly, Madoka and Ko show up and ask if they can join them for lunch. Meanwhile, Reiji is sitting with the professor, who is checking on Shingo's condition. The professor tells Reiji that the phase itself won't move forward, since they're not planning to break any more of the maidens' seals for now. However, the professor warns that Cyeti will enter an advanced stage, which could become very dangerous for the driver. Meanwhile, Ko asks Madoka if she's only joining the drama club because she wants a chance to kiss Takuto, but Madoka replies that she just feels like playing with a new toy today. Later, Madoka willingly offers herself for a risky experiment that will boost her Cybeti's power even more, showing she's ready to take the risk, but as a result her body was fused with it. After that, Takuto gets pulled into zero space for a battle with Madoka, but he struggles during the fight and keeps getting hit hard. He stays on the defensive because he doesn't want to hurt her, so he can't fight back properly. At one point, Madoka almost manages to kill him, but Wako steps in and uses her powers to stop Madoka with an attack. After that, Takuto finds the chance to destroy Madoka's Cyeti, but he also manages to save her in the end, thanks to Wako's help during the battle. After that, the time finally arrives for the drama club's big play, and it's Takuto's turn to perform first. He goes on stage and acts in a scene together with Serena. Once they finish, it's Wako and Sagata's turn to perform, and they take the stage to act out their own story. As the play continues, more members from their drama club join in one by one, each stepping into different roles as new characters in the performance. After the play ends, Wako heads off to grab a cold soda, but along the way, she bumps into a girl who tells her that she came all the way from the mainland just to see her. Later, it's time for Sagata's play, and when it begins, everyone realizes it's very dark and serious in tone. After that, it's Takuto's turn again, and during his performance, he walks right up to Wako and suddenly kisses her. After the play ends, Takuto introduces the girl he was talking to earlier as his friend from middle school, Hana, who traveled all the way just to watch him perform. Wako kindly invites her to stay at their place, but Hana says she has to catch the last ferry back, so she politely thanks them and decides to leave first. The next day, even though it's a quiet Sunday morning, Takuto trains once again with Sagata like usual. Later, the two of them take a bath together. After that, they sit down with the others to enjoy lunch. But suddenly, one of Sagata's maids shows up and tells him that someone delivered a painting of him, and they figure it must be from Reiji. Takuto says that sooner or later, he'll have to face Reiji in a fight, but he's confident that when the time comes, he'll be the one to win. Out of nowhere, Sagata suddenly asks Wako to go on a date with him, which surprises everyone around them. Later, Wako gets dressed up, and the two of them head out on their date. Meanwhile, Takuto goes to visit Honda and Shineda, and casually tells them that Sagata and Wako are out on a date, which makes Shineda furious. Honda then mentions that Takuto's dorm room has been fixed, and that he should move back in soon, but Takuto walks away. At the same time, Wako and Sagata are at a restaurant, and all the girls there can't stop staring at them. While sitting together, Sagata asks Wako what it would be like if they got married, and he wonders if Takuto would still come over to visit them. Then he asks if the same would happen if she ended up marrying Takuto instead. Would he still come hang out with them too? Meanwhile, Takuto runs into Reiji at the beach, and without saying much, he suddenly punches him. He tells Reiji to stop pretending and faking things, then turns around and walks away. That afternoon, Takuto goes out with Wako, and she tells him that Sagata said since she went on a date with him, she could spend the afternoon with Takuto. Suddenly, both get pulled into Zero Time, where Takuto is forced to battle against 3 different Saibodies at the same time. Even though it's a tough fight, he manages to defeat them with help from Sagata, who supports him during the battle. But what Takuto doesn't know is that later, Sagata is secretly introduced to the members of Kuraboshi as their brand new leader. The next day, Takuto and Sagata come back to school after spending hours training together. But as they arrive, both Takuto and Wako notice that Kei looks unusually happy for some reason. Later, the school principal joins Takuto and Sagata for a meal, bringing Miss Ishino along with him to eat as well. Meanwhile, Kei pulls Wako aside and asks if it bothers her that Takuto is always so kind to her. Kei also shares something strange. She says that her aunt who got married just last year has a crush on Takuto and even thinks he's a better man than her own husband. At the same time, Shingo finally wakes up and tells Reiji that he had a really bad dream. Then, without hesitation, he decides to hand over his mark to Reiji. Later that night, Kei meets Sagata near a quiet shrine and tells him that, according to the Shinda family custom, she could have been the maiden chosen to be engaged to him. After she walks away, Sagata's maids show up, and he shockingly tells them to kill him. But instead of following his order, both maids start crying and say they could never do something like that because they've always cared about him. Meanwhile, Kanako speaks with Takashi and explains that if the maiden seals inside Zero Time are broken, it could lead to disaster. The entire island, along with everything on it, could be completely destroyed if that happens. So now, Kanako asks Simone and Takashi to help her evacuate all the people on the island in case the worst actually happens. At the same time, Reiji calls both Takuto and Wako into Zero Time, and this time, he finally steps in himself, and he's going to battle Takuto directly. After that, Kei takes off her mask right in front of Wako and Takuto, and everyone is shocked to learn that she is actually the third maiden. Right after her reveal, Sagata also removes his mask, and that's when Takuto realizes that both Kei and Sagata have been members of the Kuraboshi all along. As soon as the Eastern Maiden's seal is broken, the powerful King Saibodi, known as Samek, is finally released and breaks free from its restraints. After that, everyone starts wondering how a normal human can even control something as huge and powerful as Samek. At the same time, Kei tells Wako that she has been waiting for this moment for a long time and explains that Samek was never truly broken. It was actually being used to seal something away. Just then, Sagata steps into Samek and begins to control it. Wako runs toward him, but the strong energy surrounding the Saibodi pushes her back. Kei looks at her and says that Sagata no longer belongs to her, because now he will become the king of the entire world. Takuto gets really angry and tries to attack Samek, but no matter what he does, it has no effect at all. Suddenly, Samek goes out of control and starts acting wild. Reiji then says that only Sagata can control Samek, but since he can control Sagata, that means he can also control the giant Saibodi. This makes Takuto even more furious, and he rushes at Reiji, but Reiji blocks him and attacks back using his star sword. After that, Takuto and Reiji get into a long, intense battle where they both use all their powers and abilities to fight. Even though Takuto gives it his all, he can't really keep up with Reiji's strength. Just then, Kanako steps in and announces that Reiji is officially kicked out of his position, but Reiji just laughs and says he'll destroy all of them. Right after that, Reiji tries to attack Takuto, but Wako jumps in and saves him by using her maiden powers. Then, to everyone's surprise, Wako transforms into her own Saibodi, which even leaves Reiji shocked. Revealing his true intentions, Reiji uses the power of his Saibodi to hijack Samek, and also brings back all the previously destroyed Saibodis, placing them under his full control. All those Saibodis begin attacking Takuto at once. However, the remaining Kuraboshi members manage to regain control of their own Saibodis and realize they need to stop Reiji, so they decide to fight beside Takuto. Together, they charge in and start battling against all the Saibodis under Reiji's control. After that, everyone charges straight towards Samek, but they're all easily overpowered by its massive strength. Then, Reiji breaks through Wako's shield and tries to attack her, but Takuto steps in just in time. He fights Reiji with everything he has, beats him badly, and finally wins the battle. After Reiji is defeated, Samek slowly begins to go back to sleep, and everyone starts to wonder if Sagata entered Samek, just so he could seal it away again. Right after that, Takuto destroys Wako's Saibodi, which causes the Maiden's temple to collapse. With all his strength, Takuto destroys Samek once and for all and successfully saves Sagata's life. How long will it take for Takuto to truly master Tauburn and face the full might of the Glittering Crux? If you want more, drop a Cyeti in the comments for part 2. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.